Okay, hi. So you guys wanted to know how to do this thing that I do in Sony Vegas. Well, it's not Sony anymore, is it? So I've recorded a little clip here, and I'm going to highlight a part of the UI. So basically, let me drop down the preview window. We've got this. All right, and I'm going to pop out Citrus here. Basically, as you can see, my preview is 1080p, 60 frames per second, and this is recorded, however, in 4K, 60 frames per second. So I will not lose any pixel information by doing what I'm about to do. So what you will want to do, the thing that I do a lot of the time, is I will right click and then U to duplicate the track. And then I will insert another video track in between those. And on the first track, I will draw a mask around the object I want to highlight. So I'll zoom in here. And this is a little bit fiddly, but this is how it's done. And quickly zoom in there. Right click, select path. There we go. Perfect. Now I can independently zoom this Citrus window. And basically, whenever I do that, I do keyframes. It's like automation indeed, as Johannes said. So usually I go for 12 frames, roughly, at 60 FPS, or 6 frames at 30 FPS, and then I'll zoom in a little bit. Well, I'm zooming in a lot, but that's to make it centered. So I will center this guy in the screen. There we are. And then I'll zoom out a little bit so that it's not too drastic, basically. Okay, so now we've got the zoom. What we'll also want to happen is, in the same time that I'm taking to do this, I also want to blur everything in the background, and we're going to do that with a blur effect. And what I'll do is I'll split my background clip. This is my background clip now. And I'll draw a crossfade for the time, for the 12 frames that my zoom is taking. And I'll go to the effects here, and I'll get a Gaussian blur, or Gaussian blur actually. And I'll set it to something reasonable, like 030 on X and Y. And then on this track in the middle here, I will need a black rectangle. And you can get that in Sony Vegas by going to the media generator and going solid color. There's a black rectangle for you right there. Okay. And then what I'll do is I'll fade that in so it's the same length as my zoom. And then I'll drop the opacity down to somewhere under 50% so it doesn't get super dark. And then we can have a look at the finished result here. Basically, what's going to happen is it's going to zoom in Citrus only, darken the background, and blur the background. Obviously, this is a bit hard to do for it while also recording. But if I drop this to quarter, you'll see what's happening. But yeah, this is how you do this. It's not magic, it's just work, basically.